Okay, girls, our next topic in genetics is going to be something called Punnet squares. This is a practical way of determining offspring from a parental cross. We're going to use pea plants generally as an example because we've been talking about Mendel's work in that area. So let's talk about what this is. A Punnet square. Let's put some color around that, A Punnet square is a simple tool A Punnet square is a simple tool that can be used It's a simple tool that can be used to show the resulting possible offspring from two parents. So that's what it is. I'm going to give an example and we're going to go through the steps of how to use it. Okay? So this would be a typical kind of question. If we're going to cross two hybrid round seeded pea plants. Okay, and some additional information to do this. Round is dominant. Round is dominant over wrinkled. Round is dominant over wrinkled, so it's going to be information that we're going to have to use. The other piece of information is what we're actually going to be crossing. Two hybrid Okay, so we're going to be using that in this idea of a Punnet square soon. Okay, step number 1. What we have to do is we're going to determine the parental genotypes. Determine the parental genotypes, and therefore the gametes. Remember, those are sex cells, right? And gametes each can produce. This might sound a little complicated, girls, but this is real simple. Each can produce. Okay, so our next little ditty here, this is where This is where knowledge of genetics, this is where knowledge of genetics vocabulary is critical. If you don't understand what genotypes are and the way that they're labeled, uppercase letter, lowercase letter, so on and so forth, you're not going to be able to do Punnet squares. Let's put a period after critical. If we can't figure out the parental genotypes, then figuring out what kind of offspring they can have will be impossible. Will be impossible. Period. Will be impossible. Period. All the information we need. All the information we need. All the information we'll need is given in the question. Is given in the question somewhere. Just given in the question somewhere. So what do we need? Right here. 2 hybrid round seeded. Round is dominant. That's what we're going to need. Okay. Our next little ditty. If we use an uppercase R and a lowercase r to represent the alleles, for seed shape. In pea plants. Comma, then we know that a homozygous or pure homozygous or pure dominant. If you're not sure what this is, you need to go back and review your notes from the other day. A pure dominant individual would have a genotype of uppercase R, comma, a homozygous or pure recessive individual homozygous or pure recessive individual would be a lowercase r, and comma, and a heterozygous or hybrid individual would be uppercase R, lowercase r. This is the most important stuff right here. So you need to understand that a homozygous pure dominant is going to give us 2 uppercase letters. Homozygous pure recessive, 2 lowercase letters. Heterogeneous or hybrid, 1 upper, 1 lower. I'll stop there and I'll come back with another one. Talk to you soon.